develop and hone that?
Yeah, that's a tough question, Matt. I don't take that lightly for people to say that, first of all, but I've been put in leadership positions from the time I was younger as team captains and all that stuff, so I've been very fortunate that way. Don't know where it comes from, probably the way I was raised. So I don't have a very good answer for you.
Coach, Danny Limon from Fox Sports. A couple of days ago, I had the opportunity to be with Brett Favre and talk to him, and he speaks highly of you. He told me that he doesn't bet, but that if he would bet for the Chiefs because they have you as a head coach. We know all about your history with the Philadelphia Eagles, but could you tell us a little bit more about being with Brett Favre at the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, so it was a great experience. I was there 7 years at Green Bay. Phenomenal organization, great people. I was around great players, Brett being one of them for sure. I felt like when we were together, he'd go down as one of the all-time greats to play his position, and he's done that. He finished up his career that way. Also around Reggie White, who I felt the same way about, Sterling Sharp the same way about. So we had a ton of these real good players there, and just very fortunate to have had that opportunity. I worked for Mike Holmgren there, who at the time I didn't think anybody did it better as a head coach, or I had a hard time believing anybody did it better. And heck, I've been coaching now for a couple of years as a head coach, and I still feel that same way. So, yeah.
Coach, sorry to make this a trip down memory lane, but when it comes to your time in Green Bay under Mike in that staff and being in Super Bowls, what experiences kind of informed you as you became a head coach later on in your career, and what do you think about Mike's candidacy for the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, I would vote for him for sure. He would be well deserved to be in there. Brett's in there, Ron Wolf's in there, so you get the third part of that group that had such a big influence on the success there is Mike Holmgren. So things changed when he came there, and I thought, you know, every year we were there, we were competitive. Went to a couple Super Bowls. So I think what I took from him was I thought he was a tremendous leader. I thought he was a brilliant guy offensively, but he also had a good feel for both sides of the ball. He understood how important special teams was. I love the way he handled the players. He was tough enough on them, but on the other hand, he cared about them as guys. So, yeah.
Good morning, Andy. Curious how practice went yesterday, but also how practice maybe this week differs from the regular season, and that you've already installed the game plan.
Yeah, Adam. So practice went good yesterday. We're just going back through and trying to polish things up here this week. Still working hard, but we're going to polish things up from last week, and it'll be a normal late season Thursday today. So,
Coach, here for La Perrada, Mexico. Ever since you got Patrick Mahomes, you've beaten Vic Fangio run defenses 9 out of 9 times. What are the intricacies in his game that make you to have such a clear upper hand over him? Or is there like anything you'd like to share about that, or is it just the fact that you have Patrick Mahomes and he doesn't?
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have Patrick Mahomes. So I'm not going to slight that part. He's a great player. Will go down, I'm sure, as he finishes his career. He's still young in this thing, but as he finishes his career, he'll be one of the greats to, if not the greatest, to have done it. But so that definitely helps. I don't want to slight the coaches and his teammates. He's got some good players that he's able to deal the ball to, and whether it's throwing it to him or handing it to him, those big offensive linemen that are helping him out he appreciates those guys. Took him out to a nice steak dinner the other night, so he appreciates all those guys. And then he's been blessed to have some good defenses that support the other side of him there. So it takes a group, but he's definitely a great one. Yes.
Coach Taylor Lewan, Bussin' with the Boys.
This side here.
Oh,
Right
Right
here. Oh, right here in front. I got guys raising their hand.
recently on an episode of Bussin' with the Boys, John Gruden said that you were his biggest rival when it came to play calling in Green Bay. For you, at your point in your career, who do you think is your biggest rival from another head coach standpoint?
Play calling wise, like defensively or offensively?
Either one.
Yeah.
Or is
Well,
yours?
this guy we're playing this week is a pretty good defensive coordinator. And I feel like I can't get rid of him. It seems like every year he's once or twice or three times he's there, and he does a great job. And then I always say Bill Belichick is probably the best coach I've ever had a chance to go against, and my career as a head coach. So. I've enjoyed watching the Lions this year and the job that their offensive coordinator did there. And now he's the head coach at Chicago. You're doing good, though, man. Yeah.
Andy, over here. As a historian of the game with the Hall of Fame selection, Jim Tyre, the legendary Texan in chief that played offensive lineman, one of the greatest players to not be in the Hall of Fame, according to plenty of people. Just as a historian of the game, your thoughts on his impact and if you think he should be worthy of that selection.
I missed the first part of it.
Jim Tyre.
Yeah.
Jim Tyre. Yeah.
Yeah. So you see these guys that get slighted a bit that aren't in the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's some older guys that with their records, whether it was shortened by war or whatever, that they haven't been able to get in. His is a unique story, but I think if you just take the purity of his play, I think he probably, he should be in the Hall of Fame. So if you kind of exclude the other things, he should be in there for sure.
Good morning, Coach. A couple of years ago, Chad Henne went out on top, winning a Super Bowl ring as Patrick Mahomes' backup. What did Chad bring to the quarterback room, in terms of experience, and how much did he help out Patrick Mahomes? And then the second part of the question relates to Carson Wentz. You brought him in. He's at a different stage of his career, has an opportunity to learn behind Patrick Mahomes, but yet I talked to him yesterday. He has a wonderful attitude about where he's at in his career because he's resurrected it. And what does he bring to the quarterback room?
Yeah. Chad was a pleasure to have been around, great leadership ability. I thought he was great for Patrick, just to have a sounding board. And then when he got in the game, everybody had confidence in him. So he came in some tough situations, and we didn't feel we had to change a whole lot of things when he stepped in. So it was great. I mean, great kid. As far as Wentz goes, I basically say the same things there. He just hasn't had that opportunity necessarily to step in with the ones yet, but he's a great kid, works hard. I joke to him about his size. He's a huge kid, and if he can't play quarterback, I throw him in at tight end. So he's a good one, good kid.
Andy, in the Super Bowl, the fact that you're playing in a game of this importance, does it change your aggressiveness on fourth down in the red zone and how you handle OT?
Yeah, well, as well as I do, Philly stays aggressive on their fourth downs. And they've got a good offense. So I think on the other side of that, you do the same. You'd stay aggressive within reason on fourth downs. We've done that throughout the season, but that really ups itself when you're playing against a good team that likewise does it.
Coach, obviously making it to the Super Bowl is a very big deal. How do you balance enjoying the Super Bowl, enjoying the 2-week lead up, but then also keeping it, business when it comes to practice and everything like that, not only individually as a player, but also as a team?
Yeah, you understand that it's about the game. It's not about all of this. It's important for you guys, and it's important for the league and the fans for this. But the most important thing for the football players and coaches is that you function well in the biggest game of the year. And you want to do that every week. But the magnitude of this is there are two teams standing, so we all know that. And you're playing for a championship there. So it's important that you focus in on the game plan, how you handle it, so you can master it by the time you get to Sunday.
Coach Ryder, over the years, the speedster / deep threat wide receiver has been an integral part of your offense, from Tyreek to McColl and now Xavier and Hollywood. Why do you think this type of player has been so critical for your offense? We've got a good blend of speed and some possession type receivers, if you put them in that box. And then they all complement each other. So to have those guys around Kels, it helps Kels's game. To have DeAndre, Juju, those guys help, and Watson, they help the speed guys too. The speed guys help them. So it's different pitches, if you look at it this way, different pitches that you can throw at a defense. And it allows you to get a little deeper down the field and stretch it vertically there.
Coach, what have been some of your expectations and goals for the players in practice this week? Some specific ones.
Yeah, well, the main one is just to go back and make sure we polish up the game plan. And sometimes you can get caught up in, when you're back home, hey, listen, we have another week to get ready. Well, no, that's not where we're at. So right now it's Thursday before the game, and you got to up the concentration level and make sure that you keep things fine-tuned here.
Hi, Coach. You mentioned the Mahomes' O-line appreciation. Can you speak to Jawaan Taylor's role as a blocker and a motivator for this offense?
Yeah. First of all, he's a great kid. He's been a solid guy for us throughout his couple years with us. Works his tail off, doesn't say much, pretty quiet guy, but loves to play the game. Man's man type deal. So he's a good one to have.
Coach Ryan Lavardi, WSU St. Bonaventure. Has the first week of February been marked on the calendar for months now?
Yeah, you don't look ahead, in this thing. You got to take care of business every week because of the parity in this league. So we just try to take it literally week by week. I mean, coaches stand up and tell you that, but in this league, the way it's wired right now, you've got to make sure you do that, or you're not able to stand here.
And has the week felt any different than the last few?
Well, yeah, I haven't had to do this every day, at the other ones.
Couple more, guys. Andy, there's been a lot of noise about officiating and how your team is officiated. I know you're not worried about that, but does it concern you at all that could seep into how this game is officiated, and maybe they overcorrect and say, we can't give the Chiefs a call with 2 minutes left in the game because that's going to be the story Monday morning?
Yeah, listen, I don't think the officials care about what's said. They're doing their job, and they're doing it to the best of their ability, and they don't favor one side or the other. I mean, that's not how this thing goes. It's a good story, but that's not reality of how it works. I mean, you'd be insulting them to think that that's what they do. So they go out and they call it like they see it. There's some, as a coach, there's some I sit there and I go, yeah, I don't agree with. There's some I agree with. I mean, that's how it goes. But it does make for a good story. Yeah.
Last one.
Coach,
Hi, over here. Nick Antonakis, WBN Sports in Boston. Very historic